when I was putting it together, I thought surely this already exists. It's got to have been done before. So yeah, I was quite surprised to find that we were the first to market with it. I'm sure it's crossed people's minds, but yeah, to actually focus so narrowly and find those companies that are really meeting this, I think we've put together something pretty good.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Michael Hardiman from 16 Research, and I'm Alex Berg, founder of Index One. We're here to talk about a new index we've created together. So could you, Michael, just start off by giving a quick introduction to yourself?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Michael Hardiman, the founder of 16. I have a background in finance, started off in environmental finance. So I come from a science background, moved into banking and funds management, then into equities analysis, early ESG. I went to work for the World Bank in that capacity and helped put together an index for the Brazilian stock exchange. So that kind of exposed me to the world of indices a long time ago. But after having left environmental finance, I actually went into public safety. So I worked for the Department of Justice for many years and ended up as a police economist. And as well as working as a police economist, that the idea for a police focus index came to me. So that kind of led to the creation of 16 Research as a venture and the creation of the Police and Public Safety Index, which I'm running in conjunction with you guys at Index One.
Sounds good. Could you tell me a bit about 16 Research?
Yes, so 16 has a couple of aims. When I was working with the police, one of the parts of my role was to find out what sort of challenges the organisation faced and how we might cope with that. And it was pretty clear that police forces around the world were going to have a bit of trouble coping with what was to come. So there were a lot of challenges on the radar. And yeah, private sector assistance was clearly one of the ways that was going to need to be addressed. So 16 was sort of formed to identify those companies which would help police forces meet the needs that were coming up, but also to look at unlisted companies. And within police forces, there's actually a lot of innovation, and there's sort of a market opportunity to take that innovation outside of police forces to the wider world. So 16 was formed as a bit of a conduit for that. And also the other way, to help smaller companies find their way into police forces around the world. But that other aspect of finding listed companies that already existed and presented an investment opportunity that led to the index.
Mm-hmm. And what was really the main motive behind setting up this index?
When I first put together a list of companies that looked well placed to benefit from increased demand from police forces, I first put it together as kind of a watch list within just my own sort of brokerage account. I kept track of how they were going, and yeah, after that COVID sort of period when a lot of companies really took off, this little watch list just went ballistic. And then I thought, I think there's a serious product here. So yeah, kind of put more work towards it, played with different methodologies, and you finally settled on the one that we're working with. And it was really it was the numbers, it was the performance that made it clear that there was something here. It wasn't just a concept that might come together in the future. It was really sort of happening now, and these companies were performing, at present. So that wave that I was expecting to come in future, I think we're riding it now.
From my perspective, from a sort of indexing standpoint, out of the 4 million or whatever indices are out there, it's I think this idea really has exposure to certain societal, governmental, and political factors that you don't really find in other indexes or comparable products. So I think it's definitely unique in a sense, and there is, as you said, an opportunity which I think a lot of people in the industry have overlooked for a long time.
Exactly, yeah. When I was putting it together, I thought surely this already exists. It's got to have been done before. So, I was quite surprised to find that we were the first to market with it. I'm sure it's crossed people's minds, but to actually focus so narrowly and find those companies that are really meeting this, I think we've put together something pretty good.
Let's get into more kind of specifics around the index. Could you talk a bit about the methodology, how it's set up, and some of your thinking around that? And I can chime in, of course, as well.
Yeah. So methodology. Well, it's obviously a focused thematic. So police is the primary aim. Public safety kind of broadens that a little bit. Again, that's just because if you're to look solely at policing, there's really not that many pure plays. So we have gone a bit broader. So there's a few companies like MScii, which looks at fire safety. There's a few others like Motorola. It's sort of broader. It's not strictly policing. Whereas there are a few companies in the index like Axon and ShotSpotter that are specifically policing. So the methodology, looks at those companies that primarily pure play. So we fill the index firstly with pure play policing stocks. If we can't get to the minimum number of stocks, then we go to quasi-plays. But methodology, look, as I mentioned before, when I was developing the index, I did play around with a lot of different methodologies, and it became sort of like more of a kind of actively managed portfolio for a while, and kind of wound it back and then settled on just a quarterly rebalanced equal weighting methodology. And when we ran some back tests, that actually performed better than any of these sort of active strategies that we started applying in different weightings. So it's a passive index, 30 stocks minimum, and we're only looking at stocks on the major US indices at this stage. So it's not looking at global stocks. So US listings only, 30 stocks, equal weighting, and quarterly rebalance. So a fairly simple methodology, but it works.
Yeah, sounds good. I think the equal weighting especially gives a better exposure to the theme.
Yes.
As the I think market cap distribution can be quite steep in this particular industry.
Yeah, spot on. Some of those pure plays are actually quite small, so any market weighting really, watered those down too much.
Yeah. In terms of how we set this up, I can talk a bit about that. But we basically engaged with Michael. I think it's over a year ago now. We initially got started, and we used our indexing tool to, as you alluded to, run multiple iterations of backtests, modifying the basket and the methodology, and came up with what we thought was the optimal approach, which would have sufficient liquidity and good performance. And we've been running this index live now for quite some time, and the performance has held up, beaten the market, I think, every quarter since. So it's
up 30% last year. Nice.
Good journey. So could you, Michael, talk a bit about what the next steps are for this index? What do you have in mind, how to bring this to market, and what steps we've taken? There's been some recent movements there as well.
That's right, So next step, the next step, as always, we're planning to have more AUM. That's always the goal, to get more invested into the index. And distribution is key for that. So at the start of the year, we were fortunate enough to have Chorus, financial platform, take the index up, and that they offer that to their clients. And so anyone with a Schwab account can go through Chorus to access the index. And that's to US-based investors only. So anyone with an SMA through Schwab can go through Chorus to get exposure to the index. It's also on Smartleaf's platform, so Smartleaf Asset Management and any RIAs in the States who access the Smartleaf platform as well can give their clients this index as a product. And just recently got added to C8 platform as well. So again, that's for RIAs, any registered investment advisors in the US who use that platform can provide the index to their clients. So yeah, we're always looking to expand distribution. We've been in touch with some institutional investors who are interested in the product and looking at bringing them on board. And the goal further down the track is to get this open to retail as well, so that there's less barriers to entry and lower or non-existent minimum requirements for investment.
I know, from my point of view, it's been exciting putting this together and seeing these recent developments, and look forward to supporting this more and helping gather more AUM. For anyone who's interested, we have the index published on our platform. You can view the performance and methodology and sample of the holdings. And if anyone is interested in getting more information, you can look at one of these platforms Michael mentioned, or get in touch with ourselves or Michael directly.
And I should say it's been fantastic working with you guys, and I know that you've got some indexes which underlie some ETFs, and obviously that's another goal. It would be great to have the index tied to an ETF, so that's be helpful for both of us. Get more exposure for our products, and I think an ETF would really help AUM grow a lot quicker than it has been so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks, Michael, for your time. And as I said, looking forward to next steps.
Thanks, Alex. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.